We're gonna look at today at Michigan. So yeah, you guys can see already from the above, it's pretty big state. So far we didn't have that many huge one, but this one I think is the first that's actually pretty big. So what I'm interesting as always, I mean, look at this flag. They have like two reindeer. What is that? I don't know, and an eagle. That's pretty badass, and the seal is pretty much the same. What I'm interested in is population, which is like 10,000, 10 million people, as you can see, and going down. And they are on the 10th place ranking in US population, which is pretty huge. And median household income, they say it's around $72,000 back in 2024. So by now, probably it's 75,000. Income rank 38, which is pretty low, I will assume. And this is clearly a democratic state. We're gonna see that in a moment. Well, where I'm interested here, it's how those people actually live. And you can see how close to the border of Canada is right there. And it's gonna be an interesting one, I have to say, with a 10 million population and decreasing, not much, but it's a start. You know, that's how we started in those areas. Usually, when you have a small decrease in population, that usually shows like a long-term trend, in my opinion. So we're gonna see that. Spoken language 91%. It's English 3.8, 3.9%. Spanish, which I don't understand. Arabic 1%. That we start to understand because we're getting closer to Minnesota, and others 4.5% around that. What I'm interested in here, look at this. Let's check some date or some photos. We'll say from this state on the Wikipedia page. There's some sort of native population of the United States back before the this is a fort, by the way, back before the in the time of colonization, let's call it like that. We have here the Benjamin Franklin. We have 20th century with some sort of a military or a National Guard, whatever that is. Open wide street, look at this, interesting cars. I mean, even back then we say that cars used to be more colorful. A bit more, but not that much, especially in this picture. Classic American skyline, I would say. For some reason, everyone tried to replicate that, and it looks absolutely horrible in Europe. For example, for US, yeah, it's working. They kind of invent this one. It's their own thing. Makes sense there, but in Europe, it looks absolutely horrible. Nice lakes, nice mountains in area. This one, I mean, everywhere you go in the United States, you're gonna pretty much find some nice landscape. I don't know if there's like back then when they draw the line of the state, they say it must look nice wherever we go, and we have to have some elements that they're gonna make every single state looks absolutely great. I don't know, but it seems to have that end result. Religion is like 43% Protestants, 24% Catholics, Jehovah Witnesses 1%, unaffiliated 28%, Judaism, always put those Judaism. There's not that many in the United States, not that many in the world, but they always like to put it right there. We don't have, let's say, some Indian religion, but Judaism always present, 1%, Islam 1%, and others 2%, so not that much. Economy, well, blue states usually they do pretty well on the paper, but in today's life, not exactly that great. But we're gonna see just the beginning, let's say, of the video. I genuinely like this architecture in the United States. It's not exactly, it's more like a classic European with some classic European elements, but it does look way better than this modern one. I mean, I was a big fan of these modern ones for a while, even at minimalism. Now, not anymore. It's just, I think it's just crap. That's it. It just doesn't make any sense whatsoever. But have some racing here, which is Gatorade sponsor, official sponsor. Yeah, this architecture, classic European, classic human, let's say, architecture, way better than this new modernist one. It just doesn't make that much sense to me. Just it's much pleasing to the eyes, the classical one. We have some sort of a nuclear energy here. I'm not sure exactly if it's still working, but the nuclear is kind of have a comeback in a few decades from my understanding, so it's going to be interesting to see the price of the electricity going absolutely to zero. And that would be a huge milestone in the human development and civilization. So yeah, overall, yeah, like I say, architecture is pretty good inside these capital city halls, whatever it is. State of Michigan, the same problem with the United States. Democrats and Republicans, wow, this is so again, I don't know, I think like Minnesota, it is having a being democratic leading state. Yeah, it is in level 90. I think it was. Michigan has evolved into a swing state after Donald Trump state in 2016 and Biden. How much it was in 2024? It was a Republican state. Wow. No, fuck. Oh yeah, it was a Republican, so kind of a swing state there. Pretty interesting. I thought it's a heavily Democratic one, but it used to be. So my information was kind of old. But you can see outside, probably the main cities, they classical, they're Republican. In the main one, Democratic. So yeah, apparently it's some of a swing state now. But enough talking. Let's see how actually those people live here in this land. And I want to start from this island right here. Far, far away from the mainland, let's say. And see how nice it is here on this nice small island. And it does look very nice, I have to say. This guy having the best life probably. I'm not sure it's fishing or whatever he's doing here, but look at this lake. Absolutely beautiful here. Absolutely nice. I mean, look, it's not even a cloud in the sky. No humans around from what I can see. It's just peaceful right here. Absolutely peaceful. I'm not sure exactly why Americans perceive a tax, a fee, when you want to go to those national parks. I think it's absolutely lame to ask any money for seeing nature, but I kind of understand in a way they want to preserve those spaces. And look at it, those, let's say, watching towers, whatever this is, require money to maintain and have rangers in the parks and all of that. But I think still it's lame to ask for money to go to the nature. It's just like, so it's such an American thing to do, just ask for money for everything. I get it in a way. They use those money when they use it right, hopefully, to maintain those parks. But in the same time, it's nature, it's a park, it's supposed to be, let's say, untouched by humans, just visited. That's what pretty much every single one of those people go there to visit, not just to, I don't know, build a house, for God's sake. You have some areas when you can build a house, no problem, that's a different discussion, but I don't know, asking money, even if it's not even a huge amount of money, it still doesn't make sense. It's absolutely horrendous, I would say. I mean, look at this. I don't want anyone came here and clean this one. I mean, like, if it's nature, if it's just exactly like that, I want to keep it exactly like that. That's the difference between. That's why you don't need maintenance in those parks and already pay a lot of taxes in those states. So I guess a small amount can go to some sort of a ranger parks and maintain it, I guess. But again, I don't want to see too much maintenance. It's clear this is what cut by a human, as you can see. I don't want that much maintenance. I just want to go there and see the absolutely raw nature. And I'm not interested in any human settlements and any bullshit like that. Just in those national parks, by the way, not every single piece of land should be like a national park. You still want to live in a countryside like this guy. I mean, have a great house on the lake. That's absolutely fine, no problems there. But nature, we have like it's like a national park or something, should be free, not tax. But I guess, I don't know, Americans like to put a tax on everything. It does look nice, I have to say, but it will never look better than the nature. So if you intervene just because you want to clear some trails and bullshit like that, I don't know. I get it, but in the same time, I don't like to pay a tax for visiting nature. I mean, it's for everyone. But I guess that's me. I don't know. Maybe it's a different way of thinking in the United States. But in Europe, I never heard about like a tax to go to parks or national parks. Parks in the cities or national parks. It's just absolutely wrong, in my opinion. Well, yeah, this island is pretty nice. Probably like, again, the whole island is a national park or reservation or whatever. But does look pretty good. But now let's focus on humans. Let's see how those guys actually live. And you want to go in a town, a city. Let's see how they they live here. This is what, 2024 September. I mean, in the fall, Ole looks pretty nice. First month of the fall, I like the flag there. I mean, the differences between a house like this, which is like a low income house, this one again a low one income house, but this one it's like a medium income house. I say, look how nice it is. Have American flag there, a big house, big alleys, not that well maintained front yard, but it looks pretty good. You know, it's like have good bones, how the Americans say. Overall here, like I say, from the start, the road is pretty wide. I don't see potholes. I see this one is supposed to be a bit maintained than this, but that's supposed to be like to, I'm not sure if it's a Lorium Manor Inn. It's a hotel. Okay, this one's supposed to be like well maintained by the hotel, and it's fine. I guess it's fall. It's not that bad. It looks pretty nice. Kind of weird to have a hotel on the street like that. I don't think we have those in Europe, but it looks pretty nice, I have to say. That's a really nice one. Yeah, houses here, not exactly high income, as you can see, but still pretty well maintained. It's nature. They have trees, they have a backyard, they have green, they have a nice wide street. They have no potholes, they don't see fences. Not that much jamming traffic, let's say, not that many people. I mean, it looks pretty good. It looks nice. This I'm not sure exactly. Again, the same problem is gonna be everywhere we go into in this century, or at least this decade. Hopefully, it's just gonna be the last decade. The job problem, the job market. I'm not a socialist. I never was. I never will be. But it seems like even much more easier and makes more sense. Look at this, those guys playing here in the, this is what, 2008, in the financial crisis. Those guys just playing outside. That's a nice way to do it. It makes more and more sense to just give to pretty much to everyone a paycheck every month with no stress attached, because it kind of goes like, right, in this economy, it just kind of, it starts to seem like it hurts more to have people in an economy that they cannot afford to buy anything. They just have like 10% that they can buy 10%, 20% of the product that they produce. I mean, it's just, at this moment, doesn't make any sense in my opinion. Look at this, that's a nice Polaris right there. It doesn't make any sense whatsoever now to just have this scarcity economy. For now, for this decade, yeah, probably until we fix the energy crisis. But then, oh, that's another dirt bike. But yeah, pretty soon, the next decade should genuinely have like everyone a paycheck every month, just to keep the economy going and those move away to the new path. That's how I would see things. Those are for Christmas, and I have a feeling that those guys, they didn't even get them down from the last year. And this is the pumpkin here. Probably they preparing for, what is this, like Halloween, Christmas? They don't even go those. They don't get down those installations for celebration. Yeah, overall here looks pretty good. It's a small town. It's not a big deal here, but it looks pretty good. This one seems to be a bit bigger, and I'm honest, I mean, look at this, how green it is here from above. As you can see, yeah, straight line, typical American. In Europe, not gonna see that much. They're using from above, they're looking pretty good with that green. On the ground level, a bit too jamming together, I would say. The street is not that wide. I don't even see that many trees. I mean, probably it's in a backyard, most of them. That's why we see them from above, but not a pleasant street, I would say. This one, not exactly. And look at the potholes in the ground here. They don't look that well. Clearly, this bigger city, bigger town doesn't look so well. But this street, let's check this one. I think it's a Subaru right there. Have some solar panels. Not exactly a great installation like that. It's just kind of, I mean, I get it. You have to have efficiency, but it doesn't have to look that horrible. Let's go across the river. Maybe you have a better chance to find nicer house here. That one, not so well. I didn't like it that much. Let's assume this guy just moved in and didn't go the front yard yet, but I think it's already looking better. I mean, not that many houses. We have not that wide of the street, but at least we don't have potholes. House is pretty nice, I have to say, and a lot more green. Yeah, I think it's already looking better, this one. it does look better than the other street right there. Cars in America, yeah. Trucks, I don't know. I don't know. Like I said, we have the discussion with the cars in other videos. If you don't use it for the purpose of the truck, doesn't make any sense to own one. And that's why they make it so expensive, because now they are pretty much luxury items. Every time I see a double cab like that, it's a luxury item, not exactly a utility one. But again, maybe that's just me. Like I said, it's pretty big state, so we have a lot to cover here. I want to check this one. From above, they don't see they have that many trees, but I have a feeling that, yeah, from the ground, it looks pretty decent. I mean, look, I have some dirt bikes here and a snowmobile and a GMC truck, by the way. What is that? It's a Denali. We have a Denali here, and they used to have like a Ram, I think it is. So big truck fans here, and a Jeep. So yeah, they're kind of off-roader guys, but I don't think they leave the pavement at the same time with those cars. At least not that often to justify that purchase. But again, we have a truck. We have a truck. We have a truck. I don't know. And we have some wood here. I don't think they hit their home with the wood. So probably have some sort of a restaurant there that they're using like wood for fire or something like that. For the oven. It makes no sense to me. Those. I mean, even SUVs, the tall ones. I mean, if you have an SUV, no, should be a rule in SUV world. Like you cannot sell an SUV that is taller than 1.6 meters. Not sure exactly how is that. It's in feet, probably like 5 feet or something like that. It makes no sense to have a tall car, especially with the packaging that they have those days in the cars. They're doing such a great job. It's just, I don't care how tall you are, you're always gonna fit in one of those new cars. It just doesn't make that much sense to have a big truck or a tall SUV. It's gonna require much more materials. You're gonna have worse gas mileage. You can have worse performance. I mean, less comfort. You can have that wind noise. I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but when I'm choosing a car, I'm looking at those weight and dimensions on the paper. That's how I'm interesting, and then see it in a real life how they put it together. Maybe it's just me, but I know if I have a good specs on the paper, usually in this modern era, the car is gonna have also good performance. So yeah, it's just a thought there. Nice street here. I like those when they are the same level. The street is the same level with the ground. I mean, you don't need a sidewalk, in my opinion, in those small alleys like we have in Europe. We have sidewalks pretty much everywhere, and it looks pretty horrendous. This one, I mean, we have a sidewalk like this. It's pretty good. You have a distance between the road and the pedestrians. In Europe, we don't have that. We have the sidewalk right next to the road, which kind of is a problem, I would say, but we don't see that because we don't have the alternative like Americans have. This is a much better design, in my opinion. It looks better, it's safer, it's nicer. But on these small streets, yeah, you don't need the sidewalk here. I mean, I look at this. Just clearly the cars are not gonna drive that fast. You can have a lot of fun with a bicycle if you are a kid here. I mean, they need another one here, but it looks pretty good. It does feel, and it is like a better design. We have Trump here. I'm not sure exactly why they're using the blue background. It's usually supposed to be like a red one, but I guess it is what it is. The other thing I don't understand with Americans, why you have to express your political views in the front yard. That's also a big weird. We don't have that in Europe. You're not gonna see it. I mean, we have even laws that usually when they have like an election, and there are guys like pretty much in any country that works for a party or works for that guy if it's in a how they call it. It's not affiliated to a party, but it just candidates as an independent. So you have to put those posters on the poles, on the special places that they put a poster with a guy that's asking to vote for him or something like that. But they cannot put posters on your fence. In United States, you don't have that much. Probably you don't have that many fences, but we have any fences, and they are not allowed to put it. So you're never gonna see someone, at least not so far, that have a poster or deliberately, I don't know, a sign in their front yard or on the house that they support a party or they support there is no way you're gonna see that in Europe. In America, yeah, okay, apparently it's a thing there to support your party and show your beliefs for everyone to see it. I don't know. In Europe, we don't. It's just the way we do things here. That's a nice lake there. I assume that, yeah, I mean, look at this. Someone has a nice house there with a barn. I guess this guy kind of go in the private property here. I'm not sure, but I mean, I have like some ski jets here and have some fun. Pretty good, pretty good. I mean, like I said, the Americans have a pretty nice lifestyle. The only problems that I see, the only problems, I have many problems like any country, but the main problem is policing there. It's just they have way too much power. Just absolutely insane. I'm not sure exactly how they live in the United States. Those people, to be honest, like they can run scheme on the police can run scheme on you, like they can plant evidence and all that bullshit that we see on the TV. I'm not sure exactly. Usually, find documentary and on the news, I tend to say that it's not that bad because if it is that bad, it's like there's no way you can live there. So I assuming that they kind of exaggerate those things when they show police that they took pride, show police that they plant evidence to someone to get him arrested. They have those sting operation that they just kind of look for the trouble, not to prevent it or find crime, not create crime in the same time. I don't know. I tend to believe that's probably a small scale, because if you have that on the national scale like that, that would be insane to live there. So just, I hope it's not that bad. That's the only thing I can say. In Europe, I don't think we have that. And also, I never understand why you have like a undercover cops car. It's like, what exactly are you trying to do? You kind of you want to find trouble, not to, or they say prevent crime. You cannot prevent crime. That's the only thing about crime. You have to punish it after it happened. But for them, it's kind of like they wanted to create crime in the first place, and then say, oh, how will we fix it? So when you go, they have also this nonsense with numbers there that they show, well, the percentage of the crime solved every year or something. Then they just have like a small. They have like a target pretty much that they have to do. Wow, what the fuck is that? Who lives like that with this garbage everywhere? That's a nice jack right there. Yeah, it's not that fun here. But they have those targets that they have to put, and they kind of look for creating troubles and then fixing it, you know. And can you imagine how much public money is lost in this process? Absolutely insane. But I guess nobody cares about that. In Europe, I don't know or anything like that we have, so I assuming that we don't have this bullshit here. And crime is pretty low. I mean, if you don't count for the migrant crimes, we going down every year, to be honest. And we'll be much lower without the migrants, but we're gonna fix that pretty soon too, so I'm not that worried about it. So yeah, in Europe, I'm gonna be honest, kind of, even in Eastern Europe, you don't need to see police on the road or on the street. You just, you can have a problem or something like that, you just call them and they show up, and that's it. And kind of save a lot of money. I mean, like, can you imagine just having we have two so far, but I assuming that in the future we're not gonna have it. Police just driving in the cars all day, how much fuel they use, how much wear and tear on the cars. It's insane. So yeah, we have to move away from that. It's a sales yard here. Pretty good. I like those. They have in US those sales yard we can find. You can score some pretty nice things that I heard. In Europe, no, we don't have that. You have something. Usually you give it away, or you donate it, or you throw it away. That's it. I don't know if we ask or if you sell it on those websites, but yeah, if you have like something similar to a yard sale, it's pretty much a yard giveaway for us. We don't sell those things that we don't need, and they are very, let's say, big in volume, like I don't know, furniture or something like that. Just give it away to someone that needs it, or I don't know. if it's from wood, maybe they want to hit their home with that, something like that. But yeah, in America you can score some pretty nice things. I mean, like, I assuming they have nicer things, that's why they sell it. But in Europe, yeah, it's not a big deal here. We have even those water towers or whatever it is. This, I think it's a water tower, right? Yeah, we don't have it those in Europe. I don't see them. Probably like at some point we have one or two, but a long time ago. Now it's like absolutely gone. That's pretty nice. How much is the gas? This is what, September 2024? I think it was still Biden in office, right? $3. I mean, this is this is Michigan, but $3 a gallon. Oof, pretty expensive for the American standards. For European one is dirt cheap, by the way. I mean, like right now we pay like $2, more than $2 per liter. So that would be like 2, 4, 6, around $8 per gallon we pay right now in Europe, which is absolutely insane by the American standards. It's absolutely insane even by the European standards, but I guess it is what it is those days. Probably the only thing that I am positive about this thing is usually this is how it's happened when you go into the last age, let's say, on the last time we have that much demand for oil or the highest prices. Usually have to go to those periods, and then after that, people trying to move away from those fuels, for example, and from then you're gonna see the price going only down, and that's it, because the demand it's going down by year every year. That's why they say by 2030 they say it's gonna be the peak of the fuel consumption and demand. So I'll assuming again that this is what 2026 it's gonna be a high prices for fuels, maybe 2027 too, but they kind of slow down, and by 2030 probably gonna be like, even in Europe it's gonna be like, I don't know, $1 a liter, something like that, like the similar price that they have now in like $3-4 per gallon in US. And from there it's just gonna go down and down because people are moving away, especially in Europe, from for cars, for example, they're moving away from internal combustion engine on the private, and even more important on the business sector. I see like the courier cars that we have, like you have there Amazon and DHS and all that. We have our firms here, and they pretty much, I think like they have like 50% of the fleet right now. It's this what I'm seeing on the street, electrified. They have electric cars, especially in the city. So yeah, it is, like I say, in the last age of high fuel prices, and it has to happen. It just is normal in a way. In the last age to have higher prices. This is the last time they can charge those insane amount of money, and there are a lot of countries like Arab states that they kind of depend on the oil, and it kind of makes sense for them too. For the, let's say, for the a year or two, the last few years, to have an insanely high prices, so they can actually have a lot of revenue, so they can have the transition to something else. It makes sense for everyone in the same way. It sucks for us because we have to pay those insane prices, but in the same time, this is the last time we're gonna pay those prices, and after that, you're kind of gonna make your money back again when you're gonna have the lower prices in a few years. So it's kind of being some sort of a push, in the end. And yeah, you're gonna move away from those internet. For those guys that have dirt bikes and stuff like that, we can have at least for another 10 years a nice low prices until we're gonna see those electric ones that are gonna start eating the share market. It's the same way that we have with like 2-stroke engines, and then we have like 4-stroke engines now, and we kind of forget about those 2 strokes, even though they are huge advantages having a 2-stroke. With the electric one, yeah, it's gonna be the same. It's gonna happen gradually over time, probably most likely after 2035. We're gonna see this, yeah, mass adaptation, I would say, to the electric dirt bikes and quads and snowmobiles and ski jets and all that stuff. So again, that's gonna be for the consumer, for the private individual, the last place when you can actually buy gas. For the regular cars, yeah, you already move a long time ago from petrol to the electric. For those guys like me that like dirt bikes, quads, and any machine that goes fast, and motorcycles also, they're gonna see some transition to the electric ones for sure. Interesting fact is gonna be like, how much we can save the internal combustion engine with this. I think in MotoGP it already said from the next year they're gonna have like non-fossil fuel fuel providers. It's a requirement, it's mandatory. So I guess in the future for the regular guys, because that's kind of for the motorcycle on the road, that's kind of the main problem. The sound that makes, but that can be toned down a bit, so you don't have that much problem there. The main problem is going to be like the main problem, not a huge one. I don't have that many motorcycle, they don't produce that much carbon. But let's say you want to fix that too, so they're going to go for this net zero fuels, which you're going to fix the problem from Euro point of standard. You don't going to get destroyed by emission standards imposed for motorcycle manufacturers, so we have a relief there, and the bike's probably is going to get cheaper, hopefully. And you have to preserve that because you're going to have a competition between electric one and internal combustion ones, and then you have to make sure that you don't kill the internal combustion engine before reach those net zero fuels. Because usually when you have like a lot of people going for the electrics, and then the manufacturer, the companies move away from internal combustion and shut down those factories, and then it's much harder to reopen it and find again good engineers that they can produce internal combustion engines when already everyone moved to the electric. For the motorcycle, I think there's gonna be a market for that. So yeah, if they can hang out for the next 10-20 years, that would be great. And then we're gonna have like clean fuel motorcycles with no restriction in emission, because again, it's gonna be a net zero and just a bit more quieter. Probably they're gonna go for it. There's two sounds in my opinion in the engine. In the motorcycle, you have the exhaust sounds, which a lot of people tend to, that's a gay flag right there, to getting louder, and that's they go kind of in troubles. And the engine sound, I am more fan of the engine sound. That's more mechanical than the pretty much an engine. It's an air pump, and that air when it comes out make those sounds that we like on the exhaust. And I am a much bigger fan of the engine, the mechanical sound of the engine. That's much nicer in my opinion. So we can tune down the exhaust side below 90 decibels. I mean, like even lower than that. Probably we can go for 80 in the future, and enhance this engine, actually, the engine sound, the exhaust sound, which sounds much better in my opinion. And in those way you have both best of both worlds. You don't have neighbors that they call police on you because it sounds too loud, and you have sustainable, let's say, feel that you're not gonna see the government cracking down on you or squeeze you for money, or the producer or the manufacturer of the motorcycles. So it's kind of the best from the both worlds. We keep, and you have like really reliable one. That's why we see in like in the super bike, we see that again, another Black Lives Matter and gay flags. Yeah, sure. It is now we go into the cities. You see a lot of those. Another gay flag here. You see a lot of those super bikes right now that they coming even in the MotoGP, but that's kind of doesn't make sense to me. But fine. You see them with the lower displacement engines, and even more important than that, they kind of go down in power too, because they kind of realize that that's way too much power, and nobody uses it on the street. It's that it's insanely much, and I prefer to have like, instead give me 1-to-1 ratio bike. Okay, that's what I want. I want 1 horsepower per kilogram. That's that's supposed to be like the maximum allowed for anything that makes sense, because more than that, it's already 1-to-1 doesn't make sense anyway, but it's already too much. So I prefer give me like a 100 kilowatts hour, 100 kilowatts power bike, which is around 136-37 horsepower, and for the super bike in this case, but also applies to other models, other categories. And don't give me right now. I think the standard is like 200 horsepower per 200 kilograms. That's 1-to-1, which is fine. I like that. I want that 1-to-1, but I want 1-to-1 lower than that. So I want 136 horsepower, which is more than enough for a super bike on the street. More than enough, even that's a lot. And give me 136 kilogram bikes. That's where the money should be spent, in my opinion. Just make a dead reliable engine, though you don't have any problem whatsoever with that engine, and then give me a light bike. That's what I want. That's how it's gonna be in the future, 100%. Makes more sense for everyone to have a light bike with more than enough power, which is, again, and you have to create like a special, look at these potholes here, special version only for the track, for those people that wants to go on the track. Yeah, you can have like 250 horsepower. I don't care. You cannot even register that bike because you're gonna have to make it much heavier. So it doesn't make any sense. That's what I see. We have to preserve those internal combustion engine, like 2, 3, 5, 4 cylinder, 4, 3, and 2 cylinders, and even 1 cylinders. And in the same time, make them dead reliable, less powerful because we already don't need that, way cheaper, that's first requirement also, and in the same time, much, much lighter. That's 1-to-1 ratio that I want. 100 kilowatts, this is how usually they measure power, and then they transform it in horsepower because that's how we got used to it. So yeah, 136 horsepower with, in the first level, okay, the power can go down tomorrow, that's not a problem. The weight, it's the problem mainly. So provide a dead reliable with a lot of torque all over the rev range, so you can have actually great engine, and make it dead reliable and easy to maintain. And then use the money to go down in weight. First wave probably is gonna be like I think even today we have like 175 kilos bikes, so that's pretty decent, I would say. But I wanted to measure it like wet, not dry, with all the liquids and the fuel. So I want us to see, like in the first wave, 175 with all the fuels, all the liquids. Then I want to see 150 kilograms, and then around 130, 135 kilograms, and then we can pretty much agree that's a nice length, nice way to be. Lower than that with time, yeah, for sure, no problem. But I don't think we need, I mean, like, we can understand something, in my opinion, with those engines now. More power doesn't make it a better bike, because clearly we have too much power and then we have too much weight. So we don't want to have that weight, just because you have a lot of power that you don't use all the time, but the weight, you kind of have to deal with that all the time. So that's why everyone probably is preferring a lower weight bike. And so, same for the cars, not just for the bikes. And a power that's gonna match the weight of the car in a 1-to-1 ratio, because you can say you can have 1-to-1 ratio in 250 horsepower bike with 250 kilograms. But I don't think you want 250 kilograms of the bike, so probably you're gonna prefer 150 kilograms of the bike with 150 horsepower, which is gonna make it much fun to ride. So that's kind of in the end, that's kind of the goal. Not specs on the paper, not which one is faster, 0 to 60. It's already fast enough, like 3 seconds, 0 to 60, 0 to 100 kilometers an hour. It's more than enough. Oh, look at Cybertruck here. Oh, I never see that one before. So this is June 2025. It's a rich neighborhood. We have a Range Rover here too. And I didn't realize it. Wow, look at this. Look at the shape of those cars. Kind of a weird, but I kind of get it in a way. The same story. If they make that a regular truck, we have one like this one, be like, yeah, that's practical. This one, I don't care that much how practical it is. I care more about how cool it is. So yeah, I don't like it on black. I like that stainless steel silver clear color. But again, I don't think anyone's gonna use these tracks for actually doing track things. So yeah. Back to the motorcycle. We don't see that even many in the United States, which is kind of weird here. Oh, look at the nice plants here. That looks pretty nice. I mean, we're talking about a motorcycle because kind of like it's my favorite subject right now. Yeah, bottom line, light bikes, 100 kilowatts of power, which is around 136, 37 horsepower. It's more than enough for a super bike. And you can pretty much scratch, I would say, the sport bikes category. Doesn't make any sense when you have that load of the weight. Engines, yeah, you can have 4 cylinders. It's fine. It's smooth power. 1000 cc. It's nice. I have to say, probably you don't need it, but make it dead reliable. or from 1000 cc's 4 cylinders, or even V4, V2, parallel twin, whatever you want, configuration, 3 cylinders. Having that high displacement with that lower power, probably you can do better with the reliability there, but I'm not sure how it's gonna win you on the weight. On the weight, yeah, design is gonna place a huge role, and even more important, that materials, so that we can do it over time, no problem. But yeah, I think we have to have a standard from ourselves. Even the producer doesn't want to give it, fine. Just try, like I say, 136, 37 horsepower bikes. It is more than enough. More than enough. Even now, it's like, even if it's like 200 kilos or lower than that, 175, around that. Yeah, and it's gonna be much cheaper to buy, way much cheaper to maintain. Especially those Chinese ones that they came, they need at least 5 years to prove the reliability, probably like 10. But the price is so low, you kind of don't care that much. I mean, like in Europe, we can find those bikes for, I don't know, 6,000 euros. If you get a good deal, maybe like 4 and 5,000. So yeah, it makes no sense to go for the European one so far, in my opinion. So now back to Michigan, talk about the bikes. Let's see how those guys live. So far, yeah, I mean, it's America. We didn't see nothing outrageous. Here, the classical American neighborhood, a bit too close, and I don't like those fans, but it looks nice. Again, a bit too close houses together for the American dream, let's call it like that. This fence is pretty nice. I like this one, but again, it's probably better without one. This is what, May 2023. I would like to see more trees, I have to say. It's just not enough of them. The house should be more covered, let's say like this one, more covered in the trees. And also when you have that many trees, you're gonna see that the temperature in the summer goes down, and in the winter, because they shed the leaves, you're gonna let a lot of light and a lot of sunlight in the house, so you're gonna have a lower heating bill also, but also much nicer, pleasant life. That's why I'm going for those trees that they lose their leaf in the winter, and in the summer they are very thick, and the light doesn't go that easy through them. So yeah, especially in this, I mean, this is kind of north, they have cold winters here, but in the south, when you're gonna go pretty much in the desert and close to that, it is an absolute. That's a real truck to me. I'm not sure, the image is not exactly showing that in a good light, but that's one single cabin, a lot of stuff in the back to carry. That's how it's supposed to be. A cheap one also. Trucks not supposed to be luxury items. Again, it's not supposed to have that many things in them. Like electric windows, heating seat, heating steering wheel, dual zone if you want climate. Even single zone is pretty much enough, and that's it. That's the only thing you have. Everything else, if you want it, you have to wait until it became cheaper, so they can put it on from the luxury cars to the mainstream ones. Otherwise, I don't see the point. This is the mailman. Look at this. I never understand why they have those shorts, but I guess part of the uniform. It looks weird in my opinion, but yeah, maybe it's just me. Yeah, overall here it's a nice neighborhood. Not luxury one, obviously, but still pretty good. Luxury one probably is gonna be here closer to this golf course. Although here not that much. Probably is this one with a lot of pools here. They are a bit closer houses to each other, which again, not a big fan of them, but ooh, this is like some sort of a modern era design that I kind of start to hate. It's just this one. I mean, look at this one. Perfect compare. Look at this. Can compare them easily. So we have a minimalist one like this, which is pretty nice, I guess. It's fine. It's better than, I don't know, a really bad house in a bad neighborhood. Let's call it like that. But then you have this one, which I don't have exactly a good position from these street views. But look at this, much classical lines. I mean, this house is much more comfortable. It looks much more like a house to me than this one. And we should start building more like this. I'm gonna say, even for the European market, I would say European markets, yeah, they kind of go for this modern one because it's cheaper to make. They don't want to tell you that, but it is cheaper to make the modern ones than the classical traditional one. Although, from what I heard, this classical one starts to come down in price, so that's also a really good thing right now. This one is not even modern, it's not classical. This is like dirt cheap, dirt cheap, dirt cheap. Supposed to be for the materials. Today, I don't think it's any house gonna be dirt cheap to build. That things like that's supposed to be dirt cheap to build, but not anymore. Again, the garage in the house, I will talk about that. Not a big fan. But look at this, nice. This much nicer. They have those poles here. Those didn't have the house there. What the fuck? Here, they have those poles here. They looks already nicer. The entrance, it's behind. I would say this front entrance. It does look much better. It does look much better in my opinion. It just makes much more sense. The lazy way to park a car, I would say, to have a parking, it's like right in front of the house. The beauty of the house should not be shadowed by the car. Also, cars has to stay out behind the house, so you don't see them in the shade. Ideally, not in a garage. I don't think you need a garage for a house. Like we talk about that, we just need a shade, and clearly don't have a garage in the house. You're gonna lose space. And also with those electric cars, they're not exactly a finished product in my opinion so far. So you can catch fire. We have some a few bad examples in the past. So even the manufacturer, they don't recommend to park your car inside the house for the American markets because they have those garages inside the house, so you can burn out the entire house. It's better to have it outside. That's why you see like you build something to keep them in the shade, and the rain, the hailstorm, the snow out of them, and you're pretty fine in the sunlight, and that's more than enough. Yeah, and you can imagine how much this space can be used for so many other things, especially for the American markets when they have a lot of space. That's pretty good. This one, I mean, look at this one. That's a really nice. I would rather live in a house like that than in one of those modern ones. I don't think we have one here yet. That are made pretty much of glass. This one has more character. Look at this, how nice it is. It looks 10 times better. 10 times better on the spot right there. And you can have a nice backyard and you can put a car there so I don't see it. That's even better. I mean, this alley right here doesn't make any sense. Just gonna pretty much eat you a lot of money. You have an alley that goes behind the house, and you keep the car there, and then you have a back door entrance and you go to the car, and that's it. And the front one, you have like a nice garden here. That's gonna look much better. Parking the car in front of your house, not supposed to be a good idea ever. But I guess from the, I don't know, lazy reasons, we do that. And again, with the garage inside the house, I get it. It's more comfortable. Yeah, but doesn't make that much sense to me. And it's gonna cost you more, and it's gonna cost you space, even more than money. But again, that's me. So yeah. Overall, I guess in Michigan, they don't seem to be that rich. Oh, look at these potholes here. Because from their own data, let's call it like that. Again, I'm not a big fan of those median household income, whatever that means. They are on the 38th place, so very close to the bottom. With 72, maybe saying today like $75,000 per household income. I don't know if it's before taxes or after taxes. I don't know. I mean, I assuming that it's a household, at least 2 wages there, because I don't know, they have like 2 people that work in the house. So I'm assuming you divide that by 2, so it's not that much money. So I'm assuming it's after taxes, some sort of a police here for like dog police or zoo police. I don't know. So yeah, not exactly a huge amount of money, but much better than Europe in the same time. But I'm not sure exactly how they balance those out because they have to pay for the medical insurance and all that bullshit. I don't know exactly. I don't think that I'm far away from European, especially from the Western Europeans, but they live better, I have to say. I mean, I like those. Look at this, nice. They have nicer houses, nicer neighborhoods. Wow, that's a really nice. If this Volvo was a station wagon, that would be like the perfect combination. Here, you have like a real truck. That's how it's supposed to be, like a single cabin with a long bed. That's how it's supposed to be a truck. I would like to see exactly this one, a brand new one for $20,000. But again, I don't think we're gonna see it pretty soon. But from what I understand, the manufacturing, especially Ford, I think they kind of think It should go back to those basic ones. Hopefully they're gonna make it. And this Volvo, a brand new station wagon for 15,000, that'll be pretty good. That's how it's supposed to be. That's how nicer cars should be. And have this last generation Beetle, I think. I like the original one. Everyone should own one as a classical. It was the car that actually put people in the cars, in my opinion. In Europe, at least. In America, I think like the Model 40, Model T. Yeah, to be old for our generation to remember that much. So not exactly. And if you ask me which American car, I think like Ford F-150 was when it was pretty much cheap to buy. It was kind of a people's car there, but I'm not sure about that. I don't think it's a clear winner for the European market. It is a clear winner. Is the Beetle. That's other classical like Italian like Fiat 500 Mini in England, but I don't think they're getting even close to this Beetle. And the Citroen 2CV. But again, I don't think anyone getting that close. So what year is this one? 2016. Look at those old fashion cars. That's like 1990s here on the driveway. But it looks pretty good. I mean, like, what was wrong with those cars? Look at, we have like thick sidewalls. You can actually drive the car on those normal roads, not the one that they have today, like big wheels, big rims, and like a small sidewall. Pretty decent dimensions. You don't need more than that. And look at those classic ones here. I mean, like, this is a, I don't know who lives in this house, but has like good taste on car. I mean, like, he bought a real truck. That's how it's supposed to look like. And a second one, and then have those minivan, I guess, or minibus, whatever that is there, and a classical sedan. That's a classical garage, I would say, for the American market. Not this one. We can see, what is that? Like, I mean, this one, like this double cabin, small bed. What exactly trying to do there? It's just like, I don't want to have that. I don't want to drive that every day on the road, especially if I don't use it for that bad. That's why you buy a truck. Man, I think we discussed more in this video about cars than anything else, and actually how but it's kind of goes for how the people lived in a way, you know. It's just like we want to see them, the choices that they make with the money that they earn, what they do with them, and they buy trucks, pretty much. But yeah, in the housing, I think again, trucks doesn't make any sense. Most of them are doing pretty well. This type of housing, it could be improved to look actually pretty nice. But this one, as it sets right now. Oh, see, what about the delivery guys? We have those small ones, smaller than these ones, and they are electric now. So yeah, this is what, 2023. Oh, look at this, the Amazon ones. That something like smaller than this electric. That's how we're moving away from this fossil fuels, let's say, in the business area. This house here is interesting because on the left it's not that much interesting, on the right not that much interesting, but by itself it's not that interesting. It's interesting in this neighborhood. Yeah, not exactly a classical one. I was actually like a modern one that it's pretty washed away. There's no lines exactly, no face of the house, no details when you go probably closer than this one. It's just, yeah, kind of it tires, let's say, your brain immediately. It's just like not that interesting anymore compared with a classical one when they have lines, they have much better again, another truck, much better detail than those modern ones. The good thing is that you can adjust. I mean, I can renovate one of those one to look better, but yeah, it's better to build it from the ground up. And in the same time, again, don't build it from wood. I guess, yeah, from the American market, it is what it is. But they start to move more to this, call it concrete here. I know it's not perfect, but at least it lasts longer. Bricks and concrete. And you don't have problems if they, I don't know, you have a fire. That's hugely important. or if you have like a pipe leak or something like that. Just make much more sense. It's not perfect. We still have to work to a better one than the concrete and bricks. It's not the finished product. It's not the ultimate build, but I think it's a step forward. I will say, yeah. Here it does look like a murder, like a serial killer neighborhood in a way. This is how they show it in the movies. But they have nice open space. They have a nice wide road. I mean, look at this, how much nice space it is here. And back to the discussion with the robots, yeah, you should have one of those robots that they pretty much, well, this cut your loan every week without you doing pretty much nothing. That's a really nice investment. I would say it's not that expensive anyway. It's much cheaper than the one that they have in America today from those ones that they use in gas or whatever. That one, it's electric. You can command it by the phone and you establish the perimeter when they're going, and that's it. Just drink your coffee, and if you want to watch it, fine. Otherwise, don't need it. That's technology. That's investment. What else can we find here? I mean, I don't even know where the main city is. Where is it? Let's check them. I mean, where is Detroit? It's right there. I am interested more in go for Detroit. Yeah, let's go for Detroit. It's Michigan. It's the engines town, the motors town, and we have those high buildings. Again, works in United States. In Europe, kind of start to hate it right now. It's just look at this. In US, it's worth it. Yeah, is there architecture? Look at this, glass buildings. But in Europe, I know I used to say that for the business, okay, I'm willing to allow it, but no, not anymore. I don't like it. It's too tall. It's too centralized in the same time. They have a district when they have all the businesses, and then everyone has to travel in the same direction at the same hour every day, or at least 5 days a week. And that's how you end up with absolutely insane traffic. So no, I'm not interested anymore in this centralized business area, business district, spreading around every county, every neighborhood, let's say, from that city. It's much better choice in my opinion, and also lowers in the same time the demand for the land in one area, so they cannot charge you that much. That's pretty good, I would say. Easy transportation because not everybody goes in the same direction, so I guess the road is not gonna be that jam. And I'm not big of a fan of those public transportation because I don't like to travel with people that I don't know. Pretty much nobody wants it. So yeah, this one I think should be scrapped altogether, especially the bus ones. It's already using too much fuel and too much maintenance. A cable car, yeah, it's nice. It's very nostalgic. It's very nice, especially if you have not those modern ones, the classical ones. If you can bring them back, that would be a nice way to travel. That's why probably I will use more of those. And not that there's a few stations that actually is faster to go. And yeah, the subway, obviously. Usually every major city has one. If somehow we manage them to keep them cheaper. But although I would say even the subway, if we spread around the businesses, and if we're using the car less in the first place because we stay so close. I mean, like everyone works in the, let's say in 1 mile. Let's go in American say in 1 mile from his house has the work. You don't need a car to go there. You don't need even a transportation. You don't even need a bike. That's you just walk there. So you don't need a lot. So in the same time, wow, that's Michigan police. Why they have those big lights? It looks like a candy truck. What the fuck? Michigan State Police. That's how the state police looks here. They have this stop sign there, which is weird again. They have these huge lights on the roof. Wow, I didn't see that before. That looks weird. And they have those bumpers that they can actually crash you if you're trying to escape, which again, we don't have in Europe. We don't need it. In America, they kind of like it to, I don't know, destroy things. So I guess they kind of equip the car for that one. But yeah, in every car, look at this, they have one. I don't think We need even the subway at some point, especially if you go and a step further than that, and we say, let's move people outside the main city. Let's go in the countryside where it's much nicer, and keep the cities below the main cities, the biggest one that we have below first stage, below 1 million people. That would be a huge, and spread the business around. And even the second stage, 100,000 people. That should be the limit in the any city. And for that 100,000 people, and even then in those cities, they have big apartments, but their apartments represent less than 25% of the house, the residential, let's say, market share. The 75% still living in a house with a nice big yard, but even those 25% of the apartments, they have a really huge apartments, and with 2-3 parking spaces. So you don't see actually cars on the street, and all of them, they are parked under the building or on the level floor of the building, covered. So you don't have, even though again the same things, you have a hailstorm, you don't have damage in insurance. You have I don't know, someone decided to getting drunk and going on the street with the car, you don't crash every single car that is parked. You have much better, I would say, lifestyle there. So you don't even need a subway in that regard. A cable truck, again, it's nice. A bus, not so much. It's to maintain it. It's a lot of maintenance. You have to have a driver. I mean, yeah, in the future you can automize it, but a cable car, it's much easier. I mean, like, it's going on the tracks. It's much easier to make it self-driving. Much easier. So yeah. Oh, this guy kind of tuned his car. What the fuck? How low it is to the ground. So a cable car is nostalgic. It's nice. It's fun. We like it. Especially if you have enough of them, so you don't get crowded. That's even better. I think this is a different state. I wanna fuck this up. Yeah, that's a different state across the river, whatever it is there. So we're gonna stay inside here. So yeah, I think, like I say, it's gonna be a really nice future if we're going for these lower cities. Whoa, what the fuck is happening here? Probably used to be a house here at some point. I don't know. I mean, it's Detroit. It's like, I think they go bankrupt in the financial crisis, if I'm not mistaken, and it looks pretty bad here. I mean, like, oof, this is 2020, 22, and it doesn't look that great. Yeah, lower density population in these cities with high houses, not apartments, and less because people say, oh, we have like a public transportation, so much better. No, it's not. Public transportation, it's a lot of money. And I do mean a lot of money from the public funds. So we need to go down with that too. So we need to go down in public transportation. We need to be electric cars with decent size cars, not a huge one. It's going to be a much better option. And even better than that, for schools and workplace, being 1 mile from the house, you don't even need like a bicycle lane anymore. You just walk. That's the main thing. It's because it's faster. If everyone is using the car in the same time, probably you're gonna do 1 mile in like 15 minutes in a car. So that's pretty much the same if you walk and you don't use fuel. You don't risk crashing the car. You don't wear down the car. It just makes no sense whatsoever at that point. And that's why I think this should be the way we're moving. Somebody makes some donuts here. I'm not sure exactly what the fuck is here. I mean, like, they do it every day. What the fuck? What is this? Like, this is November 2020, and they have a lot of donuts. And in 2025, a lot of donuts again. So they are probably a perfect intersection for them to do this. Yeah, moving away from this, I mean, like, houses with big yards, everyone's dream. For the young people that want to stay closer to the, especially in the young years, 25% being apartments and nice apartments. That's pretty good, right? That's pretty good. So yeah, I think this model that I propose, it's much better than ones that we have so far. What the fuck? There's so many cars here. Probably some sort of a parking space. I don't know. There are way too many. And again, see, even in American markets, they have houses way too close. They don't have enough backyards and can actually park the car behind. I mean, this guy has the car there, but those ones should not be on the street. They should be big enough to accommodate every person that has a car in that house and anyone that visiting. So you don't end up, I mean, like this house is supposed to be, this one should be absolutely empty. And some of them they are. I mean, look at this. Those guys park their cars here. Although they have a bit too many cars. I mean, like when you see that many cars in a yard for that house, I'm wondering how many people living in one house, because we can have a lot of problems. You can have multiple generations living in a house because they're always gonna have, I don't know, arguments, and it's gonna be in trouble every day. So you kind of destroy the relationship in the family very easy like that. I mean, when you are 16, 18, it's already supposed to have your own house, by the way. Not like we have today, just can't afford anymore a house at any age. But again, that's another, I mean, look at this, from above, how many houses they have for these people. I mean, like, even, like I say, a city right now in the first state, with 1 million people, it's a lot. And the second state, which is much more doable, let's say, with 100,000 people, much easier to manage. I mean, I don't know what's happening there. This guy again. Those are running on petrol. We have it on electricity with a cable at some point. Now we have electricity with a battery, and pretty soon, like I said, we start to see those autonomous one that is just going by itself. You just establish a perimeter that it goes, and it just cut the grass by itself. You just watch, and much easier. See, that's how we evolve here. Here it's an abandoned building, not that well maintained. I mean, it's in Detroit, in the area that doesn't look so well. We have to see those things too. Like I say, oh, this one is much better. This is 2023. Look at this. And now back to, see how much the lights. I mean, look at this. Even in this light, doesn't look that bad, even though it's not well maintained. And this one looks absolutely great. Look at this, nice trees, all the things that you want. Again, share the road, bike lanes. You don't need it. And stop saying like everyone, oh, we like to public transport. No, we don't. Nobody likes public transportation. That's why you see people like, oh, the gas got so expensive, and I'm thinking like, I'm gonna use a public transportation more. And the guy drives like a Mercedes. Like, who the fuck you kidding, buddy? You're not gonna leave your Mercedes home to go to the bus. Let's face it. You're gonna just pay more for a while, and that's it. You can afford it. I mean, that's such a such a lying to to everyone's face like that. I mean, I get it's getting an interview, and it's stop on the road to. I mean, look at this, but on the doors, it doesn't look that bad. Doesn't look that good. This is a black neighborhood, as you can see here, so probably not that much safe. That's why they have those bars on the doors here. They don't have on the windows, so that's pretty good, but they have it on the doors, so not so well. Yeah, and the guy was like driving a Mercedes. I think it was a woman. But still, like, come on. You're not gonna. Oh, we're gonna ride the bus. You're not gonna drive the cars that much. Yeah, for sure. I mean, I don't know what's happening here. It's a lot of garbage and chaos, but I don't like it. And we have like a Coke machine here. What the fuck is going on? And they have like a door there, which doesn't go pretty much on the roof or anywhere. What the fuck? Who designed this house? And I have bars on the door and another vending machine there. Yeah, it's chaos here. This is what, 2022. So yeah, public transportation. Wow, this one is like fucked up for real. This is 2022. Wow. Public transportation, it's a no-no. The only thing we can make it more attractive, yeah, subway is not attractive, especially in the New York, as you know. In Europe is the same. It's not attractive. It's expensive to build. It's expensive to maintain. The only reason that you use because you're living in a jamming city. That's it. If you reduce the population and if you improve the area that everyone's operating, you don't need the subway. Wow, that's a pretty fucked up house. I mean, Detroit 2022, but still, woof, that's rough. That's not America, by the way. I mean, this house looks pretty good, and you have to live next to this one. I mean, yeah, pretty bad. So yeah, you don't need the subway, you don't need bike lane, you don't need buses. You only need its cable cars. That you need because you have and you don't make those modern ones, train that goes on those cable cars. You make the nice old nostalgic ones. That one people is gonna ride. That's what they want to do. And you make it, like I said, self-driving. You don't need someone. You need someone in the command center, yeah, but you don't have that many anyway, and you don't have that many station either. And some of them, back in the good old days, when you have the nice ones, they don't even need to stop. You just, they lower the speed and just go out and go in, and it's much faster. But I'm not sure it's gonna be available for I don't know, for these gay people that pretty much we raise, the gayification of the humans. So I don't think we're gonna have that, but at least we have like self-driving and electric ones, and again, much better, and fewer stations, so we can actually go to places fast, and you don't have a problem. And it's gonna be, I mean, like when you go to San Francisco, you're gonna see how nice they are. And in Europe, I mean, like Switzerland, they have it pretty nice. They have the gay flag and the Puerto Rico flag, I think. And look how they live in this misery, pretty much. But yeah, they want to lecture everyone that they are from gay flag. And I think it's Puerto Rico, I'm not sure, but I think it is. Yeah, not exactly a good example of showing the flag in this environment. It doesn't actually play well to your cause, let's say like that. Bars on the doors. I mean, again, they have it on the doors. I don't have on the windows. It's a black neighborhood again, I think. Seen the black guy there. Ooh, Detroit is bad, for God's sake. I mean, it's kind of an outside of the main center of the town, but it's not that far away. I mean, look at this. Not that far away. I mean, like, we're in the first quarter, let's say. And God knows, probably here it's better here. I don't know. Oh, it's better here in outside, probably because it's cheaper housing, then everybody can afford it. And yeah, this guy kind of fucked up his bumper. Probably it's so expensive, that's why he doesn't fix them right away. And it's not a real truck. It's a double cabin one. What is this? Someone's mayor, someone's, yeah, 2025, they have election there. Yeah. So again, smaller car, efficient cars. Don't need them. That's the main thing. Don't need them that much. You're using the car pretty much when you want to go on across the city, which, because we have now lower population and lower density and smaller cities, you can use much easier the cable car, or even better, a ride sharing car like Uber or Bolt we have in Europe. So you don't even, it's because it's like self-driving and so cheap. You don't want to use your car. It's just using someone else's cars. You put miles on a car that's supposed to use as a taxi, and you go places like that. Don't risk, let's say, driving a car and jamming the road with one car for one person, and you can have like multiple person. But that's a different discussion. But you can use it, and then use the car when you're going outside the city. Yeah. That's how you lower the dependency of the car. Not by making them expensive to own, not by making fuel expensive, not by pouring money in public transportation endless. That's not how we do it. It's in case, especially if you want to have a small government over time. That's how you start building that small government, by not having dependency. And those are the fuel prices, by the way. It's like around $3 a gallon in November 2024, before Trump got office. And how much is it now? I don't know. This is September 2025. It's pretty much the same. And this is like a red state apparently now. So, not sure exactly how they're doing with taxation there, but it's not California. We're gonna see in California how bad it is. Bars on the doors, again, not a big fan. It is what it is. Cars, this one not in a good shape, but those one, I mean, look at it. That's pretty nice size. Again, sedans, not a big fan. If you have a sedan, doesn't make any sense, a bold there. It makes much more sense, probably from this guy, to have a station wagon, and you have, like I say, an SUV, keep it under 1.6 meters, and the station wagon under 1.4 meters. Ideally, it's going to be like 1.5 for the SUV, but that's a bit too low for an SUV. So 1.6 is more than enough to have for an lower than that for an SUV and lower than 1.4, maybe even 1.5 at some point if you have a bigger car for a station wagon. Makes a lot of sense in my opinion. And we fix a lot of issues, I say, in my opinion, but I don't know, I don't have the power to do my will, let's say. And again, garbage day here. That's a really nice car and really nice front yards, decent housing. This one not so much. This one I like it better. Have more lines to it. It looks better. This one, it seems like some sort of a paper house. What the fuck is going on there? I don't know. They have bars here on the door. Don't like it. A lot of garbage. And from what I can see, this is what, 2019. They don't recycle here. I'm not a big fan of recycle. At first, I wasn't that much big of the fan, but now I kind of see the point in a way when you make it easier and cheaper and even free. That's the main thing. It's supposed to be like garbage, supposed to be free. The amount I'm looking at my garbage, and the amount that I put on recycle bin, it's like 90% of any of my garbage. So it's like just 10% goes to this generic one, and 90% goes to recycle, because usually it's plastic, it's aluminum can, it's metals, glass, and all that stuff. So the other things also for the American market, which is, I think you got something right that you didn't even notice. You have this garbage disposal one that they just going and just kind of crash bones and whatever you don't need it. Apparently, from what I'm understanding, those can be used very easily if you make it very, very, very small. They can be used, besides like you have bones, you can feed them to a dog or an animal or something like that. You can use those small, you can transform it like in a, not exactly a dust, but very, very small. You can use it for fertilizing. I mean, like eggshells, bones, vegetables. You can use it. I didn't make the connection, but Americans have that system on the sink, then they can crush them and make them smaller and smaller, and then you can use them for fertilizing your front lawn and for whatever you can have, like a, I don't know, tomato garden, a small ones in the backyard, which is everybody should have that, or a peach tree or something like that. Apparently they are very good. I didn't notice that. So even by using that, you can reduce that 10% that you have to pretty much zero, or even less than that, say 5%. So if you have such a small garbage, you only have like the garbage truck should become once a week for the recycle one, and then once a month for the generic one. And by that, because you recycle a lot, should be free, in my opinion. And that's how you fix another thing, another way. I don't know. Those are just my ideas from what I observed over the years. And again, I wasn't a big fan of the recycle ones, but now when I see it, like 90% of the garbage that I produce is recyclable, which is insane. I mean, like I look in the recycle bin, the yellow one, and it's pretty much full. And I look in the black one, the generic one, it's pretty much empty all the time. It's like, and the garbage trucks comes once a week for both. I mean, like it's such a fuel waste to have two trucks that goes every week when you can have one truck that goes every week and one truck that goes every month. It makes much more sense, and you can make it for free because you're using the recycle to, I don't know, you can sell it back to producer or whatever you want to do with them. It's just, you can sell it as a recycled glass, metals, plastics to be reused, and then you don't charge me the money for garbage, and you recover those money. And you also, by the way, electric garbage trucks makes a lot of sense, and small ones when we don't use that much. Even packaging, I think the most that I fill up one of those big bins with the recycle items, and I see them because I have a lot of plastics that they go with a lot of volume. If we switch from those plastic volume to the still plastic, but in a better packaging, even paper at some point. I mean, I can remember when we have like chocolate, for example. Chocolate used to be in paper, and it looks much more nostalgic, much better, much more, even not say much better graphics that we have back then, and it looks and it feels much better in the paper wrap. We have paper and aluminum. Now we have just plastic. So again, it was a much better and much better experience opening an old chocolate when you have like peel the paper and then the aluminum, and now we have just the plastic one, which is like doesn't even look that appealing to me. So again, another nice use of paper, I would say. Just one example. Yeah, I think we can do much better than this. I'm not big a fan of, like I say, of the way they doing recycle today. Like, just give some example, it just still feels like a waste sometimes. There's definitely ways to be better. Oh, that's a nice pole right here. That's pretty good. And that's a decent truck, you know. That look at this, a single cabin. That makes much more sense. It's a bit too high, I will assume. But again, if you need to have that option. The problem it is when you have it that high, it's harder to load items. But again, if it's not that heavy, you're pretty good. But that's a real truck, in my opinion. That's how it's supposed to be. Oh, we lost it. Oh no, we come back. That's a real truck right there. Like, okay, it's a long bed and they have like 3 seats here for sure. This one here is not a real truck. That's, I don't know who bought that. Maybe it's the same guy here. Probably this is the son and this is the father, I will assume. I would be happy to be the other way. And I like the tires much better on this one than the street ones. I'm guessing that's good that this guy is actually using for the real truck. I don't think you need 4x4. It's just the rear wheel drive is more than enough, and it's gonna make it cheaper to maintain and cheaper to buy also. Yeah, that's a real truck. You have like 3 seats. If somehow they manage to squeeze 4 people in the next generation, that they make it a bit more wider, fine. And you have like 4 seats. That's it. They have a hit, because usually you can put like 4 people in one of those trucks. Most of the time they're just traveling 2 or even 1, especially in the America. So even with the 3 seats, you already are pretty safe. But if you make somehow you can squeeze 4 of them, you are gold. And you have like a bench, which we kind of miss that, in my opinion, the bench front seats. Then just the individual seats, much better. And this one, I mean, like, if I can carry my my quad, you can have a motorcycle, dirt bikes here, whatever you want. It's much better. That's a real truck right there. I mean, like, that's, I approve this one, not the black one, the red one. Approve, sure. It genuinely looks like a real truck. I mean, look at this. That's a real truck, in my opinion. That's a real, look at this, and it's pretty long too. Yeah, that's how it's supposed to be right there. That's a really smart guy. I don't know who are you, but that's really, really smart guy. That's how it's supposed to buy a truck right there. And it's supposed to be cheap too. I know that's expensive too, because they have a lot of nonsense on them. But we're gonna see with time. Maybe they're gonna come back to their senses and they make a truck, like I say, $15,000-$20,000 at most. That's how it's supposed to be right now. The advancement in automation and reliable cars that we have those days, it's beyond what we are led to believe. That's what I'm gonna say. This one looks a bit like Europe, I would say, with that fence there and with this ditch. Pretty nice, pretty nice. I mean, yeah, overall they're looking, even Michigan looks pretty good. With the exception of that part of Detroit. I mean, it's still kind of still in Detroit, in that area. It does look pretty good. It does, and again, they have Americans, they're gonna go for these individual houses, which is good. They have a bit to work on them. I mean, like this one, they all look the same, which is not exactly a good idea. But again, they have a bit more lines, some of them. But they need more trees. That's for sure. I mean, like, this is way, I know it's fall and it's April, it's early spring, and they don't have that many leaves there. But they need more trees. But again, this is a new neighborhood, so I guess with time we're gonna see more and more. But overall, they done well again, even this state with the individual houses. I mean, look at this one. That's much better. Look at this, how many trees they have here. Oh yeah, much better. Housing, yeah, this modern one, again, not a big fan anymore. No, it's a no for me. The classical lines one is much better. I mean, look at this. Look at how deep it is, that house, that you can even see the house from the trees. That's how it's supposed to be. That's how you're supposed to build things for privacy like that. They need a few more trees here. Again, the modern one, not a big fan anymore. But look at the front yard, how nice it is. And yeah, they need more trees. Probably those are the people that hire those illegal migrants to work for them, because they have it. They are pretty cheap people, let's face it, and they want to do anything for the extremely cheap, for the low pay. Oh, that's a much better house. I mean, look at this, much nicer. And they are part of the problem, of course. And they have an Audi A8 here. Pretty good, but I'm not. Oh, W12 engine. I hope it's real. It's not just the emblem right there. Oh, it's a nice house there. It's a red door. That's pretty good. But I don't like it staying like that on the street. What the fuck? And this is the end of the street, by the way. Yeah, you know what I mean? Put him in the garage. What the fuck you doing? You have the alley there. That's a WV12. That's a real nice engine. Extremely expensive to buy and extremely expensive to maintain at full capacity. And it would be a shame not to drive that car for the full potential, which you kind of cannot do it in this day. I mean, like, that's a really fast car. I mean, like, W12 engine is pretty nice, but I will like it to see a nice sound going lower on power, so I can actually use the power and compensate with reliability for that loss in power. And you already can use the car much more better, much more efficient than whatever horsepower try to squeeze from that engine. That's my opinion. Like, just lowering the rev limiter, make it much better parts, much more reliable parts, and somehow using the extra money to going down in weight of the vehicle, and you already have a much better car. I mean, it's like I said, there's a reason why those manufacturers like Mercedes, those Porsche, Audis, that they make extremely expensive car and extremely powerful that you don't need, because it's cheaper to make a powerful car than make it a lighter car so far. I heard that we have some really nice breakthrough with the plastic carbon composites that we can use to pretty much make the cars at least twice as lighter than they are today, for some components, obviously. So yeah, I think probably in the next era where the electric cars, if they fix those fuels, make it like I say a net zero one, that I keep saying that net zero fuels, it's just pretty much you obtain a fuel and then you recycle that fuel from the air with some sort of machine. The Porsche does that, and right now it costs like $20 a liter, which is extremely expensive. It can go down to $1 a liter. Then we can have a real discussion about those, and then you don't have to put all those nonsense recycle EGR valves and all the bullshit catalytic converter in the cars. Make it cheaper, reliable, lighter, and then you have a net zero. And then we can have like an electric cars, combine of them, and we can move even more cars to the electric versions. Not the hybrid ones, doesn't make any sense to me, hybrid ones. You actually decrease even more the... Oh, that's a nice house. The impact of the petrol car engine, I would say. So yeah, the future can look very bright if we just make a better purchase. That's the main thing. I mean, like, look at this. You buy this Audi, it's extremely expensive, doesn't make any sense whatsoever. This guy in the back bought a Hyundai, and it's a much better purchase than this guy with the Audi. And I dare to say it's even a better looking car, and the new Tucson looks even better than this. So yeah, first thing you can do, look at this guy, he's walking the dog, for God's sake. First thing you can do, make a better purchase. Vote real voting with your money. Don't go for those expensive cars. Doesn't make any sense whatsoever those days. They are long gone, in my opinion. And especially for the high-end ones, like say Audis and all of that, doesn't make any sense whatsoever. Audis and Audis, because they have two of them. They have an A5, I think, there, convertible, and this is a Q5 or Q3, I don't know, probably a Q5, and have a really nice house where they're living, so they should manage their money much better than these cars, which is kind of a shame to say. I mean, like, with those two cars you can buy a convertible and an SUV for half of those prices that we have here in the alley. And yeah, using the money to, I don't know, invest or making the nice vacation or whatever you want to do. Buy some dirt bikes now. See, that's a much better purchase. This guy park on the grass, for God's sake. I don't like that. See, that's a really bad way to do it. But the discussion about cars. And I like this one. They have it. Look at this. The garage is separated behind the house. That's how it's supposed to be. You don't need a garage, like I say. It's a bit too much here and it's more expensive than a shelter, pretty much. But that's a different discussion. Yeah, overall in Michigan, they look pretty good. Except a few areas, not so bad. Look at it. See, an electric car's right there. That's nice. You can have two of them. See, an electric car and a petrol car. That's pretty good. But so far, the electric cars, they in the next generation, they're gonna do such a well in the range and weight. Yeah, I'm afraid there's a real chance that we might lose the internal combustion engine, and not for the reason that you might think, because like I say, the government banned them and all of that. No, the reason would be like people don't buy them anymore when they're gonna have a really good option for the electrics, and that is gonna be the sad way. Because yeah, we can go for those eco fuels that we're gonna have pretty soon, and hopefully they're gonna have it sooner than they projected. Because otherwise, we are gonna lose the internal combustion. If the main producers stop producing them, they are not gonna make again the internal combustion engine when you have to buy again the machinery and all that stuff. Because if they're moving away from them, they sell it, they crash it, whatever they do with those machinery right now, and they're not gonna buy them back and produce them back just to produce an engine that not that many people wants to drive it anymore. The same thing happened with the manual gearbox, and now the cars that have manual gearbox usually, oh, that's a really nice house here. They're those really expensive one, high-end cars, and even then, because a manual gearbox is much cheaper, faster, and easier to build than any automatic double clutch, whatever sequential gearbox. Now they charge even more for those cars that have, because it has nostalgic factor and connection that the driver has with the car. So again, it doesn't make any sense from the production perspective, but probably that's going to be, even for the internal combustion engine, it's going to be like, yeah, it's much cheaper to build in the future, and they charge it even more because not that many, there's no competition, not that many people produce it, not that many companies produce it anymore, because anyone focus on the electric cars. And that, I think, is the real danger, that losing the internal combustion engine. Not from the pollution reasons, which we're gonna fix that pretty soon, is because not that many people say, oh, we're gonna want to save it, we like it, we like the manual. Say, oh, we like to drive manual cars because we make it more connection with the cars. Yeah, look at how many cars they are selling right now with the manual gearbox. Not that many, even though it's better in every single measurement than any automatic gearbox, except the comfort that we got used to it again. And the same is gonna be for the electric cars against the internal combustion ones. It sucks, but it is what it is. So that's the real damage, the real risk here, I would say. Oh, it's pretty bad. It's reduced there, but that's a really nice house there. That, I think, it's a real danger. So yeah, vote with your money. Don't buy those expensive cars. They're not how we used to be anymore. They are not the pinnacle of automotive industry, let's call it like that. Not anymore. Those days are long gone. Oh, look at this nice beach here, but we don't have a 360 to see them. It's a nice place to live here too. So yeah, you have much better and cheaper option those days. Then you can actually use the car that you buy. Even I like those cars right now. It's a nice house here with a basic engine, because you can actually use that engine to rev it, to enjoy it. If you go for the high power one, I don't know, it's like first 2-3 seconds, just already over the speed limit. So yeah, it doesn't make that much sense to me. That's a really nice house here. Look at this garden, and then you go down on the beach. Wow, that's how we're supposed to live again. That's how we're supposed to in this. That's a really nice lake here. I mean, it's pretty much a beach, can feel like ocean. And the house right there, and look how much land you have. Ooh. Probably it's expensive to live here. I don't think it's cheap. But I also think it's pretty nice. And better than the most city area. Let's call it like that. See, that's why I see it. You have to move people. Now, I'm not okay with building that close to the beach, but how that guy have it with that land, the garden between the house and the beach, much better. I mean, look at it, they already put sandbags here. They're just kind of losing the ground here. And yeah, those guys are not gonna have this porch here for longer. That's the risk when you build that close to them. I mean, like, you don't need to be that close. That how that guy was, much better. Much better. Especially if you have even a wider beach than this one, that's even better. That was a much better choice. Even now, it's not that big of the beach, but pretty good. Pretty good. So yeah. Again, discussion more about cars than talent, but it's a lot to discuss about those cars. So yeah, I think you're gonna understand my point of view. If you wanna keep the diversity, as they say, you need to make better choices with your money. Start buying cheap cars, start buying basic cars, and that's gonna make it a much better market in the future for sure. And don't give up on the internal combustion engine. Like I say, buy the basic cheaper version. It's much better those days than it used to be, and it's much better sometimes even than the most expensive that they have in the lineup. Because yeah, you have like a 150 horsepower engine, say that's the basic one, and the top of the line it's 300. Trust me, that 150 is gonna feel much nicer to drive than the 300, just because you can actually use the whole engine. With a 300, just immediately over the speed limit. And if you get one ticket for the speeding, you can get tickets on the 150 for sure. But if you get one ticket for the 300, it's already make it a much more expensive purchase. You know, it's again lighter and less horsepower. It's better than the more expensive, more horsepower and a heavier car. Especially if you, sometimes you're gonna see, if you compare 1-to-1 ratio, 1-to-1 ratio, weight ratio to power ratio, sometimes you get a better deal. And also you put there the price and reliability, the lower cars, much better purchase, in my opinion. So yeah, Michigan so far I think looking pretty good, with some exception area that it doesn't look around Detroit that well. If you live here on the lakes, pretty nice place to live. Even in the inside the states, they have some really nice housing, pretty classic American, I would say. Yeah, that's 75,000. I don't think it's available for everyone. I mean, this is a median, obviously. I'm not sure exactly how they calculate. I mean, like, it should be like median household income. But yeah, but how many people are above the 72 and how many people are down lower than 7? Because you can have like a few people, like 10%, they go over 500,000 and they drag this price, this median house, this number up. And then you have like 90% in 50,000 or something like that. And doesn't make any sense. So it doesn't exactly give you a straight story, this 72,000 median. Yeah, if you are in Michigan and you're looking for jobs and you have a wife, for example, and you're kind of aiming for these numbers to have or above it, but doesn't tell you much about how things are there. That's why I like to make those videos and explore that. Some of them, like I say, because you can have a few people that drag this number very high up, and most of the people being way lower than this one. So this number doesn't make that much sense. But it's a number and you have to use it just the way it is. So yeah, Michigan so far, pretty nice. Again, I would like to see a bar and say how many people are below this number and how many are above it, percentage, and from which one result this number. That's another thing that I would like to see added, but that's me. yeah, overall looking pretty good. I mean, elevation it's around 270 meters, highest is 600 so now, and lowest 174 because they're not to the ocean, they're out to the lake, and the lakes are higher than the ocean in this case, and you end up with a lower elevation higher than the states that they have an opening to the ocean or the sea. Yeah, overall 11 ranking in the area. US household, I see 6 Democrats and 7 Republicans. Okay, guess there are more of the, but senators, they are Democrats. As you can see, governor is Democrat. It's kind of a blue state more, but again, maybe they kind of change it into a Republican state. We will see. So far, yeah, pretty decent overall, I would say. Again, it's a nice fort on the lake. Pretty nice place to be. Like any other state so far, yeah, with a few exceptions, like a few areas, but pretty decent. Close to Canada. I mean, they have like pretty bad winters here, I assume. Not my favorite so far. Again, Maine still looking pretty better. I would like that, but more likely I'm gonna like Florida for the tropical vibe. New Orleans in what was the state of the New Orleans? Louisiana, if I'm not mistaken again. And then the New Mexico, Arizona, the desert, Nevada. I genuinely like deserts, so yeah, that's probably gonna be. Even Colorado is nice. Utah. That's area that are more me, let's say. But even those one that we see it, they genuinely look pretty nice. I mean, yeah, if you get born here and live in one of those area, you have a high chance to be in a nice one, as we can saw. It's nice. It's very good, I will assume, especially compared with other Europeans. Not to mention the second and third world countries, we don't even count them. Not that much to complain, I would say. Yeah, for sure. And if you don't like it, you can always move to a more sunny state, to a more mountain state, to a more tropical state. I mean, you have a lot of choice when you're living in the US. You have other problems, mainly, like I say, police, bureaucracy, and politics. But the main one, it's police. In Europe, we don't have that much of a problem with them. We have problem with politics, and you have that too. So I guess we are a bit above it when it's about problems overall. The social problems, let's call it like that. Yeah, overall, pretty nice, pretty good. Check the other videos that I make, and I'm gonna see you in the next one, in the next state. This one, like I said, was pretty big population. It was like 10 million, slowly decreased, and 10th place. 10 million people in a state. It's a big state, but 10 million people, it's a bit high. I mean, like if they have like 1 million people, much better they will live, but we will see that in the future. So yeah, check the other videos that I make, and I'm gonna see you next time.